Hello everybody and welcome back to the Legend of Grimrock 2 Single Character Challenge. My name is Highwing and today we're going to the hamlet of Stormbreach. Eventually. First off, we're gonna check out the, local areas. I did forget this food after all. That's the XP that I never get back if I miss that. But we're gonna take a little side detour and take a look at the archives real quick. This is the archives. It's not really much, but it's a puzzle that we have to solve eventually. Well, we don't have to solve it, but it gives us insight to that puzzle in the graveyard that I can never remember because, man, it's still very... It's a puzzle of compass directions, and I can never quite figure out what they mean by it. But the main reason I'm doing that is to come here. So there is a trick I learned recently in Legend of Grimrock 1 that applies to Legend of Grimrock 2. And it's very Indiana Jones-esque. And kind of funny to me. Because, bread is the equal way to... Oh wow, it actually... So, with traps like that, you could replace the item and just, not care about traps. But if you just put a random item alongside the item you're gonna get, and then take the item, you could get the item without activating traps. But what the hell, let's just kill a bunch of rat pirates in the process. There is actually something down here. It's probably won't seem like much, but it's worth coming down here to get anyways. In a normal playthrough, you're gonna come down here for the EXP anyways, so just, kill a bunch of rats indiscriminately. Then we get a couple items around here. One of them is a bag of cheese. Yum, cheese. And that's pretty much it. There's a healing crystal that I'm going to pick up in a few minutes, but I'm kind of looking around because I hear a bunch of noises that I don't remember hearing before in this area. And that's because we're technically in the archives right now, and we're hearing the noise outside of those walls, but I don't realize that when I'm walking through here, so I'm kind of afraid that something will pop out and bite me in the ass. Crystal shards of healing are pretty nice. They're basically consumable save points, but they don't save, they just fully heal you. So they're consumable full heals. Silly me. And that's the way to the archives, but I don't want to go there right now, because we're going to the hamlet of Stormbreach today. And I get kind of turned around here, because for some odd reason, that turn in particular always messes with me. Now, there are many ways to the hamlet of Stormbreach, but this is going to be the one that you will probably see first and explore first because it's just up in your face. If you go up this ladder, there's a save point here, and up to the ladder over there is the hamlet. This recipe tells us how to make bombs, but I already know that. Whatever. Now, the hamlet is deceptively tough, because when you first come to it, turtles! Oh, this is a welcome reprieve. Turtles means food, which means experience points, which means I'm gonna level up soon. But yeah, they kinda throw you for a loop in this area, because you see a bunch of turtles and you're like, oh, the hamlet's nothing, I could just stroll around and have fun. But no. We'll soon see later that the hamlet is kind of a unique place of hell. Until then, though, the hamlet is also an interesting place because it's one of the few places that you could get turtle eggs, which is the favorite food of the lizardmen. As I mentioned before, every race barring the human has a favorite food, and lizardmen get turtle eggs, which seems kind of cannibalistic in my opinion, but I don't know if turtles are related to lizards. But anyway, every 3 to 4 times you eat a favorite food, you get a random stat gain. And for the lizardmen, they don't really get a lot, because you only get turtle eggs here and at the beginning of the game. I believe, at least. I'm pretty sure that these are the only place to get turtle eggs, and you only get like 5 turtle eggs here. So, I would hazard a guess to say you would get a rough estimate of only 2 stat gains for the lizardmen if you eat all the turtle eggs. Compared to, say, ratlings, which have a lot of cheese. And I don't think the minotaurs have a favorite food, actually. And I actually think the insectoids have it worse because their favorite food is the horned fruit, and there isn't a lot of those, period. Like, they spawn from the trees in a twig root forest, but you really don't see much of them at all. At most, I think there's only 6 horned fruit in the game. So I'll explore a little bit more, get all this food. I'm gonna need all the EXP for this area because the more I think about it, the more I realize this is basically one of the final stages of the game, with how certain areas, certain traps, and certain enemies are presented towards you. In the meantime, though, here's a puzzle. This is a 3-dial combination lock. It's effectively Simon Says. Except Simon doesn't say anything, you have to guess what it is. So after a good 5 minutes of bumbling, here's the solution. Now this is all one big huge recording session from the moment I started, what was it called? The moment I started Sleet Island to, we're gonna say, basically the end area of this. So you're gonna see me be very cautious around chests. Like right here, I casted shield in order to get a tome of energy again and a note of tetrominos. Now that load screen there, I had a bit of bad luck here. This never happened to me at all across my other 2 playthroughs. Yeah, for some odd reason, I died 5 times to this encounter for some really weird reason. But for veterans of Grimrock 1, here's the Ogre. I like this Ogre. He's basically the same exact AI pattern and the same old bag of tricks, but he's designed differently to where it would feel more like you saw him from a shipwrecked island. Because in Legend of Grimrock 1, I don't think he had a horn, but he had really pale skin, like a really light blue skin. He had a brick tied to a stick, and he had no armor. He just had leather scraps, yes, and skulls tied to his belt. In this one, he has a tree with pieces of metal, like, riveted to it, and he has parts of a ship used as armor. And he also has a different looking skin, like his skin is green, which I'm assuming is a natural ogre skin. And here's why this encounter kept fucking me up. You wanna see true hell? Here's Papa Warg. The actual Warg is a fucking nightmare of speed, because he doesn't stop. If you stop to fight him mano-a-mano and hold your ground, you're gonna get wrecked. Because he has the same problems as the traditional Warg has, well, baby Warg, in that he could attack multiple times and he could cause wounds really easily. But he could just attack all the goddamn time. And here's poor form. I'm cornered. Here's another poor form. I wasted a bomb. Luckily they dropped stakes, so it's not a total loss, but man, this area escalates quickly because it is chock full of these adult wargs, and they will mess you up. What happened before is like the 5 game overs I had trying to fight the ogre, I never realized it, but that warg would just kind of wander in and be like, hey, lunch! And then I died. So now we get to see us fighting the ogre, and the ogre is kind of not fun to fight. He's dumb as a brick, but he's also tough as one. And much like the crabs, he has armor, so my attacks don't do as much as they should. Aside from that, it's basically the same thing. He's just a giant meat shield. I believe these are the only areas where you fight them too, which is interesting. Because I believe in Stormbreach, it's actually a more compact space for fighting ogres compared to Legend of Grimrock 1, where the ogres were always in these giant open areas, kind of like, you know, the traditional Minotaur in dungeons. Also, I get kind of mad at the low damage rate of the Crescent Moon, so I just start using the Punch Dagger. To varying degrees. Like, we got a 70, we got an 80. I'm thinking we're doing great. But this next hit's not great. It's 20. Like, I like thrust a lot, but it, too, is kind of a dice roll. Now, much like in Grimrock 1, he will drop his comically huge weapon, the Spiked Club. High damage range, really low accuracy. I've never used this weapon, but I sit there looking at it and thinking, I don't really want to use this weapon. I don't know why. But for doing that, we get a free skill point, which goes into alchemy, which gets us better alchemy. This means our potions are much better and they're effectively a full heal, unless it's like comically huge circumstances like, say, a high-level wizard or barbarian where they have higher HP MP pools. But now we're gonna go to the hamlet of Stormbreach proper. Or at least I thought we were. Because we're gonna walk over here and see a couple encounters. Now, I don't know what it is about the wargs, but they are unnaturally aggressive. And we're gonna see something here that kinda makes me think of something. Well, maybe not yet. I'm trying to find a way around these guys because I really don't want to fight them. But that howl right there, I'm pretty sure that howl draws other wargs towards him, because look at this. I don't remember that dude following us here. What's he doing here? It took me all day to fight him. Now, this is the part of the game where I really mismanage my resources. You're gonna start seeing my blood drop caps dwindle. And that's because I get a little impatient when I fight these guys. Oh, hello there. That was the sound of me shitting my pants. But yeah, at this point in the game, I always come here, which I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to this early in the game, and I use a lot of resources. So we're probably gonna see me use up a lot of HP potions fast. So, in the past few episodes, I've been talking about Tura mode, and I've come to a realization: we see a fair bit of Killigan in this game, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, Killigan is clearly the backstory of this game. He was the dude that came before us, and for whatever reason, we don't see much of him, so we were to assume that he failed in whatever happened on this island. Now, what kind of disappoints me is, for one, we don't hear a lot about Killigan aside from the 4 tablets we see across the game, which chronicle his tale. But I kind of wish we saw, like, you know, more diary logs of Killigan. Because in Grimrock 1, the charm of it was Turum was a guy that we knew intimately, but we never personally met. He always helped us out, he gave us notes, we saw his plight, we related to him purely on a, like, tertiary basis? I don't know the term I'm looking for. It's either tertiary or a surrogate basis. And when we actually, you know, found him and unlocked his mode, it felt really satisfying to play as Turum. And I feel like Killigan could have been a surrogate, or not a surrogate, and a good alternate character for that. And to wit, I would have liked to see a Killigan mode that follows the same example. Now on the actual gameplay, what I'm doing here is I'm getting a treasure that I know about ahead of time. Normally you would get this clue in the sewers of Stormbreach, but, you know, kind of want the item here, but I don't realize another mimic. Now I panic. This item is gonna be useful at one specific level of the game. Like, I cannot deny its use, it's really good. It is the Scepter of Ruling. What it does is that it casts Force Field. It has 5 Force Field charges. but it lasts way longer than however you could use Force Field on a regular character. Like, you could have max concentration Wizard, and he can't... and the Scepter of Ruling will cast a Force Field that is double the length of that. Also, more willpower. Not counting the 2 willpower from 2 episodes ago, that puts us at 3 consecutive willpower from mutation. Yay. I guess William really wants to be a wizard. But back to what I was talking about. Killigan could have been a really good 2-rum substitute. You could have made a unique pirate class that... oh yeah, by the way, I found the save crystal, but here's me shitting myself again. Because that's 3 wargs. And I'm getting chased down really bad. Because you can't fight 3 wargs in any circumstances. You have to cheat to get there. And I panic so hard I wander into the House of Pain. This puzzle's really simple. It's just a giant room of spike traps that, you know, project in a tidal wave pattern. Unfortunately, these wargs are actually really smart, and they don't follow me in here. During my practice run, there is a unique encounter here that I brought into this area, and I was able to use the house to my advantage. But these dogs are smart, man. These are some smart dogs. It is a good thing that we managed to come in here, though, because there is a piece of gear I want. There's a lot of alternate paths to navigate this area. You don't have... If you navigate it right, you won't get hit. But I'm really bad at perception. Nice shoes. Those are the rogue boots. Now, if I had brought the rogue gloves and had all of that equipped, we would get an achievement. Unfortunately, the rogue gear does not give you a set bonus. However, it has roughly the same amount of strength as the Reed armor set, I want to say. But you don't need armor mastery, and it provides 4 to 6 dexterity based on how many pieces of equipment you equip. So on its own, it's a really good armor set. Possibly good enough to convince me not to invest any points in armor mastery. Now here's what you do when you're like me and you're getting chased down by every single dog in the damn island. You run. You run like the rat coward you are. Because what I'm going to do is admittedly real shameful. Considering I'm all alone, I don't have the manpower to do anything, I'm going to game the system. I'm going to abuse the transition zones to reset the dog AI and then take pot shots at it. Because I have 3 hellhounds on me. What a pity. But yeah. If you notice right there, I actually also popped a speed potion because there were 2 dogs there and they were just, you know, keeping me locked down in that staircase. And that 3rd one fucked me up pretty bad. But now that all the monsters are dead, we can, you know, explore Hamlet of Stormbreach in proper. There's a fair bit of good items here. Like, we got those shoes from the House of Pain, and those are really good. We also get a save point here. And it was really hard to see because I kind of freaked out and ran away, but the same hooded figure that we've seen across the game dropped that key off there for us. How very helpful. Now, I rest up here because I want to look for a specific item here that's going to be really helpful across the rest of the episodes. And there's a nice little reference. It's the Orb of Vilson. My friend. My only compatriot on this island. We will be good buddies. Now, on the note of Castaway references, as we were recording this, as I was browsing this episode, I came to a realization that Killigan, the captain that, you know, suffered a mutiny, got stranded on this island, and had to survive on his own. Killigan is a reference to Gilligan's Island, and I'm like, I'm feeling kind of dumb for not knowing this after roughly, what, a year or two of this game being out? So I'm just, the moment I realized that, I just had this epiphany, and I laughed pretty hard, because that's so dumb. And the moment I realized that, the more I realized, wow, I want a Killigan mode. I want solo Killigan's Island. But yeah, as I've been trying to convey, a Killigan mode would have been neat. It would have been nice if we saw more notes of Killigan, like random books or notes scattered about, of Killigan trying to figure out what exactly all these power stones and stuff are about. But we never really, see anything to that effect. The only thing we know about Killigan are what we infer from the 4 power stones. Wait, power stones? No. From the 4 tablets we see in certain areas. We saw one at the Heritage Den when we got one of the power stones. We saw one here, and we saw one at the Shipwrecked Island. By the way, here's a puzzle. This is the House of Braids. Can you guess how to solve it? Also, not gonna lie, I get really lucky and manage to do this puzzle damn near flawlessly. Maybe a little too many extraneous movements. But whenever I do this puzzle, I always fuck it up and fall to the briny depths. And if you fuck up here and fall into the pit, you get thrown into the hamlet sewers. But if you get the key on that pedestal, you can unlock a shortcut that directly teleports you in front of this puzzle. So you can just do it all over again. But I digress. We don't need to do this puzzle, but silly me, I'm curious. I want to see what's in there. I have an idea of what's in there, but I want to see if there's more. Because I'm greedy. Now this is the aptly named Mall. These are one of 3... I don't know how I would describe it. I want to say dwarfish design weapons because they remind me of dwarven weaponry in Elder Scrolls series. But there are 3 weapons in the game that are designed like that, where it's black with red and a little bit of gold trimming. There's the Maul and 2 other weapons. The Maul is the weakest one. Also, that was just me gloating there. The Maul is good, it has a neat special ability, and you can get it really easily. If you get it early on, it's a good weapon, but it's also the weakest of the 3. Also, we're going to a new area, mainly because I want to unlock a shortcut to discuss map design. But to get there, we need to find a clue at the Elemental Temple that says, to proceed into the mines, walk the path of the snail. Which basically means you have to walk that path really slowly. As I'm looking around for more supplies, I really need more blood drop caps. That's most of Hamlet of Stormbreach explored, but welcome to the Crystal Caves. Don't get comfy, we're not going to be here long. But if we press that button, which I seem to miss a lot in my playthroughs, like I had to actively remember it this time. First off, we get a couple supplies, a couple fungi. Not really important, but I do appreciate more red caps. But this harkens back to the weird gripe I had with Twigroot Forest. Because when we take this shortcut, we go to a secret which holds the save point for Twigroot Forest. This is kind of dumb in my opinion. Twigroot Forest is an early area and you kind of need the save point there when you're getting your feet wet with this game. And the fact that they lock it behind a secret in one of the later areas of the game really kind of rustled my feathers. Now I could see what they wanted to do here. They wanted to make a way to get from the later areas of the game to the early areas really easily. But then you have the hub system, which also makes that system kind of moot. So while this is a clever map idea, I feel like it's something they designed ahead of time and then they completely forgot about it, which is bizarre to me. Like, I wouldn't have mind losing the hub if there was more interconnectivity like that in this game. It would give it the... I can't believe I'm saying this, but it would give it kind of an air of Dark Souls with the interconnected nature of the areas. But I feel like that little clever bit of map design there is lost by the fact that we have a fast travel system with the wind gates. But yeah, that's most, if not all, of Hamlet of Stormbreach. Next episode, we're going to the sewers. It's a bit of a mess down there. There's a lot of rats, so I hope to see you there. Gotta be safe. Gotta be safe. Wilson, you're the only one that understands me. Ascend! You have to escape! Oh no, they found us! Run, Wilson! Ascend to the heavens! Oh god, they've come to stop us! Run! I'll hold them off! Get out of here, Wilson! Oh no, they found me! Run!